Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to 2K, NBA 2K14 deserves more praise. Absolutely. This is the best 2K, hands down. It's not even up for debate. The last gen version and the next gen version, both versions, in my personal opinion, were some of the best work 2K ever did. I know a lot of people gonna bring up 2K11, 2K16, but for me personally, it's 2K14. It was the complete package. It was honestly the last. I think it was honestly one of the last times 2K gave. Well, no, 2K16 was the last time they gave a fuck. 2K16 and 2K14 was the last time 2K ever gave a fuck about their games, because going forward, I don't know what the fuck happened, but clearly money and greed got in the way going forward. But for 2K14 though, this was the one where they were still focusing on basketball. They were still focusing on making a product that was fun for us to play. Even after they shut the servers off, they still wanted you to have fun and play these games before the money and the greed came in. But this is definitely one of the last good 2Ks. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it.
If you were to ask somebody what the best 2K in the series was, they'd say either NBA 2K16 or NBA 2K11. Without question, it's always one of those two. It's never 2K12 or 2K19 or 20 or 2K8. It's always either 2K11 or 2K16. And that's just for 2K. Outside of that, people have said either NBA Street Volume 2 or NBA Live 10. But for the sake of the video,
nobody said NBA Live
2K games.
Anybody saying NBA Live 10, you need to be slapped upside the head immediately.
Now, 11 and 16 are considered the best for different reasons, but valid ones. Like, for example, 2K16, I think, in my opinion, is considered the best, mainly due to its My Career. People consider that one to this day the best My Career out of the series, because it was produced by Spike Lee. Like, they shot.
I'll say it's not the best one. Looking back at it, it's not the best one. If there was anyone I would say was a good My Career, like story wise, I would probably say 2K19 probably had the best story. 2K19 story was pretty solid. People sleep on 2K19 story. Sadly, you can't go back and play it, but I think 2K19 probably had the best My Career story, hands down.
Like a documentary / movie-esque story. It was seen as the one that was taken the most seriously. Well, at least now it is. Some people thought it was kind of corny back then. While 2K11, I think people consider it the best strictly due to its gameplay. The Blacktop especially, that shit had a variety of different game modes you can play, either by yourself or with your friends. That and the Jordan challenges. Like, the way people talk about these games are insane. I've heard too many people call 2K16 the last great 2K game ever. Like, people genuinely believe, like, after 2K16, the series just went to shit. Then 2K11 has the gameplay to back up its hype. Now, despite those two being considered the best, if you were to ask me what my personal favorite 2K is, or hell, even the best one out the series, I'd go with 2K14. Releasing in late 2013, NBA 2K14 was the latest and biggest basketball game on the market. It is not like now when like a 2K can release and there's nothing to go against it. At the time, even though Live took a 3-year hiatus, they came back the same year with NBA Live 14. So when 2K14 released, it did have competition. It might not have had as much competition in comparison to the 2Ks throughout the early 2000s, but it did have something to go against it, and that something just so happened to be the second biggest NBA game at the time. I mean, by the time Live came back, even though it left 3 years ago, it was still on good terms.
That shit is ass. Look at this shit.
In comparison to all the other games, in comparison to
Look at this shit. This is what they came back with. This is what you take a 3-year hiatus. You take a 3-year hiatus and this is what you come back with. EA deserved their downfall. EA deserved their downfall for this. Because what the fuck is this garbage? At some point in the future, I'm going to have to play this. After I'm telling you, at some point in the future, I'm gonna have to play this, and I hate the fact that I'm gonna have to play this.
The franchise was huge. At that point in time, NBA Live still had a good reputation, so when they came back with 14, a lot of people were excited. And to keep a long story short, NBA 2K14 won. Like, it wasn't even competition. 2K14 blew NBA Live out the water. Between the 3-year break and the not so great return, 2K14 was left to flourish. Now, 2K14 is a really special game. See, this was the year that the PS4 and the Xbox One were released. So in turn, that year, a lot of games from certain franchises were having their debut on the next generation of consoles, and 2K was included in that. 2K14 was the first 2K game on next generation consoles, and it was a huge fucking deal. Like, I remember how much they hyped it up, not just the commercials and trailers, but also some of the people around me. Friends, cousins, kids at school, man, the people who played the game.
I remember this too. Bruh, seeing LeBron, seeing that teaser with LeBron, that shit looked amazing. And then at the bottom it said in-game footage. I was like, yo, this is what they coming out with for the PS4? Oh shit. I need this in my life. I was like, damn, I need this in my life. This shit was fire, bruh. The way how LeBron came out and he looked so fucking realistic compared to how he look in real life, bruh. Then they started showing Steph Curry, LeBron, not Steph Curry, KD. Who else they started showing? Kobe, James Harden. When they started showing all the other players and shit, I was like, oh, this shit fire.
Like, obviously it wasn't everybody, but for the people who cared, this was a big thing for them. And in my opinion, they delivered. 2K14 was a very smooth transition from the PS3 era into the PS4. Between graphics, visuals, gameplay, sound design, the jersey movement, there's a list of qualifications that this game met that I just can't wait to get into. Okay, now first I want to start with the My Career. Now, you already know the My Career is basically the story mode for your own personal created character. You create your own basketball player from scratch. You can either make him in your likeness, or you can just make someone completely random. RPG shit. Now, there wasn't too much of a difference between the creation in My Career for 2K14 in comparison to 2K13.
Yes, the fuck there was. Yes, the fuck there was. There was a big difference in creation. You couldn't mold the faces how you wanted them. You had to use the dev faces. That shit was so tacky, bro. That's the only thing I think I hated about 2K14 was the fact that they put the dev faces and shit. I don't want to be fucking Ronnie 2K or Mike Wang. The fuck make you think I want to be these niggas, bro? I don't want to be no fucking Mike Wang or no fucking Ronnie 2K. I don't want to be none of them niggas, bro. You could have gave me some basic ass face. You telling me you could put no basic ass faces in there that I could have molded into looking like a character that I wanted? Like, hell no, bro. That shit was tacky, bro.
Separates it really is graphics. Other than the visuals, the creation was still the same. Now, the thing about My Career, at least during this time in 2K, is the way that they shot it in comparison to like now was very different because they treated it like movies. Like, it was like that for 14, 15, and 16. 16 was more so like a documentary, but 14 and 15 were like movies. For example, they'd have like an intro made for the game after you finish your creation, where like in this one, my player is playing on top of a rooftop basketball court. You know, practicing shots, shooting and dribbling here and there. It's a whole cutscene. A bunch of stuff happens after, but after it's done, you'll have like this movie-like intro where the title is My Career, and below will be, hey, starring insert name here. Like, the name I use for my player is Reggie Iverson, you know, so we'll have like starring Reggie Iverson under the My Career title. And they'll snap back from different shots of either the basketball court or the city or the environment that you're in. The opening credits, basically, that's what they did. They shot the My Careers like this for a few years, but I think a lot of people thought that they were kind of corny at the time, or more so so a lot of people didn't like the story, so eventually they just stopped doing it. Then anyways, after creating your character, you go into the beginning of My Career, where after doing a few practice shots, you are interrupted by your best friend / manager. Bro basically tells you that he managed to get you into the NBA Rookie Showcase in New York City, which is a big fucking deal, because if we kill it at the showcase, chances are we might find ourselves as first round draft picks for the NBA. That's the goal of most of these My Careers, is get drafted to the NBA. Your typical rags to riches story. You and your manager fly over to New York, and right before the game starts, you have an interaction with your in-game rival, at least at the time, Jackson Ellis. And a sequence happens. Y'all two chop it up before the game, and after Jackson basically takes a slight dig at you, you have the option to give one of two responses. You can take option number 1, which is the more peaceful route. You know,
I wanted to take the angry. I think I did take the angry route for this time around that I'm playing it. For those of y'all who aren't watching my NBA 2K My Career series, y'all need to watch it, because that's the only series I'm doing commentary on. I be telling some of the wildest stories of my life on there. Y'all niggas need to start watching them 2K14 videos for real. If y'all trying to tap in with, because I don't do reactions during the week. I don't do reactions during the week, but I do 2K gameplays during the week, and I do commentary on those. All those videos will be commentaries. So if y'all ain't watching them, I don't know what to tell you, Chief.
Mess with him a little bit, give him his respect.
Y'all missing out.
Or you can take the aggressive route, where you basically shit talk him. You tell him he ain't shit, he can't hoop like you, and everybody in the stands is gonna watch you blow by him. You know, call him all types of bitches and punk motherfuckers. Like, you diss the shit out of him. It's actually kind of crazy how much you turn up on him. Like, I promise you, it was not that serious. Now, this is a sequence that they used to do a lot in between that time period of 2Ks, which I wish they'd kind of do again, and they still kind of do it. I can't speak for 21 or 23, but I know in 20 and 24, if you were in a press conference and someone asked you a question, you had 1 or 2 options to give for an answer, and it was kind of like this. You had the humble player role, or you can act like a snobby prick, but that's really it. They don't do that in cutscenes. They don't have sequences like this anymore, where a cutscene would happen before or after a game backstage with you and your teammates, and they give you the option to either choose 1 or 2 in the responses. Anyways, the rookie showcase starts, and you're paired off against Ellis. Your goal throughout this entire game is to basically shit on him. Like, I know I said you had the option between peaceful and aggressive, but nonetheless, you need to outscore him. You need to outguard him. You need to play like a leaguer, not just to get drafted to the team that you want, but to get drafted during the first pick period. That's
I agree. They are kind of lame now. I do agree with that.
Now, after the game is over, you and Ellis chop it up backstage after the match, and depending on which option you chose of dialogue before the game started, you and Ellis either have a peaceful conversation or an aggressive one. Once again, one of the reasons why I enjoy choice of dialogue. Now, after the convo, your manager jumps in and he informs you that he was talking to the scouts, and according to him, a lot of the scouts enjoyed the way you played, and since you played well enough against Ellis throughout the game, in the eyes of the scouts, you blew by him in the charts. Your name is buzzing throughout the media.
I hope you don't go over the entirety of My Career. I don't want to go over the entirety of My Career. I mean, just talk about it, then go into the other games. Talk about why this shit is fun. We ain't got to talk about My Career. You and your manager
need to get ready for the draft. Now, after the showcase, you and your manager need to go over a personality test sent to you by the NBA. Y'all go over your goals and expectations throughout your NBA career, and the game uses this as an opportunity for you to pick your ideal team for you to play with throughout your career. Me personally, I picked the Celtics. After which you have to answer a few multiple choice questions. The personality test I was talking about. Like, it should literally take you a quick minute. It doesn't take you that long to do. But if you want a sure shot of going to the team that you picked, you should probably answer them shits very carefully. Alright, now after you take the test, you have to do pre-draft interviews with directors for different basketball teams. And at this point in the game, I kind of got my first criticism. See, I really enjoy the voice acting in 2K14. I think it's a lot
lot better than the voice acting in 2K15. Maybe not as good as 16, but still better than 15. But if you didn't play the beginning part of 2K14 and all you saw were the pre-draft interviews, you would have given the voice acting an F. The director's voice is so stiff and monotone.
Bro, they use the same, bro, it's basically the same fucking dialogue from 2K12. From 2K12 to 2K14, that pre-draft dialogue is the same. That shit been in the game for years. Like, I don't get how you finding that so crazy now. That shit been in there since 2K12. When you do the showcase, and then after you do the showcase, you get interviewed by the teams or whatever.
As if the people they got to do this didn't give a fuck. And it's not treated, even though it's a cutscene, it's not treated like the typical cutscenes throughout my career. There's barely any movement between you and the director. When they cut to the director, it looks like he's staring off into space. It feels like you're watching the beta testing of a cutscene before the final product of the game. Oh shit, perfect example. You know how like you call a landline or like, I don't know, store or whatever, and you reach the automatic computer generated voice, like the number you dialed is not insert, like that shit. The directors sound just like that. It's so robotic.
Nice to meet you. I'm president of team operations for the Suns. We're looking to use one of our upcoming draft picks for someone who can help our franchise take the next step.
This has been in the game since 2K12,
I'd like to ask you a couple questions to make sure.
Good voice acting throughout the game, but holy shit, that part is bad. Alright, I'm getting off topic. Throughout the interview, you and the directors basically go over a series of questions and answers to decide or figure out whether you'll be a good fit into their team. And if you don't answer them questions right, you might not make it. Like, remember when I said I picked the Celtics for my ideal team? When it came time for my interview with the Celtics, they asked if I was willing to change my position from point guard to shooting guard because at the time Rondo was a point guard and they didn't want to replace him as their point guard. And so I said, no, I'm not changing my position. This is the build I picked. Long story short, the Celtics didn't pick me. Bro, I was pissed because I'm like, in my mind, okay, it's not going to be the starting lineup anyway.
Who want to play for the Celtics,
more than one point guard? Like, I answered every question right, but the second we got to that one, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. Bro, my fate was sealed. I ended up on the Phoenix Suns. Anyways, after the pre-draft interviews, you and your manager chop it up at the apartment. Y'all get ready for the actual draft. You get to the actual draft, and I really enjoyed the way they handled it. Like, they treated it like an actual event in-game. You, your manager, along with other basketball players and their managers, they're all suited up in suits and ties. There's tables and chairs everywhere. They treat it like an actual thing. There's background chatter between the other players. They have a stage and announcer included, along with a stage design. As they're running through the different draft picks, they have cheers going on in the backgrounds for each one. Now, I think you have the option to skip to yours. Me personally, I didn't skip anything, and it was long as shit. Like, my personal draft lasted like 5 minutes, up until I got my name called.
You cannot skip, sadly. Sadly, you cannot skip when you get drafted. I hate this part. This is why I think this is, listen, I think I said this before. I'll say it again. When it comes to people talking about, oh, these 2Ks that were so immersive, look at all the stuff they used to do, bruh. There's a reason why they don't do this in the games no more. This shit take fucking forever, bruh. And you can't skip these shits either. I think that was the big issue. You couldn't skip none of these. Like, nowadays, you got the option to skip all the cutscenes in 2K, but back then, nah, you couldn't skip the cutscenes. This shit took too long. You play one game, then you got to sit through damn near about like 20-30 minutes of this shit. All these cutscenes, getting you ready for the draft. Then you get drafted, then you got more cutscenes. Oh my God, it got out of control. When I first started playing this again, I was like, oh my God, I see why they stopped doing this shit. This shit is too much.
But shit, it was worth it in my opinion. There was a lot of excitement and positivity after the shit happened. You damn near jump about your seat when you hear your name, you and your manager going crazy. It's a fun moment. You walk up to the stage, you grab your hat, your statistics and overall rating is presented to the screen. It's nice detail. And from that point on, it's murder she wrote. You've officially been drafted to an NBA team and now you're free to soar out and pursue your career. I really enjoyed 2K14's My Career. I mean, it's your typical basketball come-up story. You start off as this rookie who needs to prove himself in order to get into the league. And then once you get into the league, you got to prove yourself to become a member of the starting lineup. You got to earn the respect of your teammates. You got to earn the love and adoration of the fans. Stereotypical basketball shit. But I love it. And the best part about 2K14's My Career is the fact that you can still play it in 2024. This was like the last few 2Ks that released where you can still play the My Career before it went completely online. After 2K17 dropped, you couldn't play My Career without having an online connection. And you can't have an online connection because they wiped the servers after 2 years. Meaning, if you played it the first year it came out back in 2013, you can go back to it like, what, 11 years later and you'd still find your progress. You can't go to Park anymore because that's out the picture, but you can still play the My Career or start a new one altogether, which leads.
This is why I keep saying, man, 2K, bro, we need to start a petition, bro. We need to start a petition, bro. 2K needs to start a subscription service for us to play the older 2Ks. Niggas will pay for that shit, bro. You know how many niggas would pay to go back and play on the 2K15, 2K16 servers? Niggas will pay money to get back on them servers, bro. They need to invest into a subscription service, bro, to play older 2Ks, bro. I'm telling you, niggas will pay for that shit. I understand that y'all want niggas to buy the new game, but I'm trying to help y'all make money at the same time with the old ones. If you want to make money with the old ones, just make a fucking subscription service where we have to subscribe to play on the older servers for games. Niggas will pay top dollar for it, and then you making money monthly. Then on top of that, you got the VC. Come on. What are we doing here? Listen, I know it's kind of fucked up to do, but hey, man, niggas ain't trying to play these new 2Ks, bro. These new 2Ks y'all got out, throw them shits in the trash. Like, niggas would pay top dollar for these old ass servers to go back up. The 2K14 server, the 2K15 server, the 2K16 server. Shit, even the 17 server, y'all would fucking go crazy with them shits. But nah, let's put it up for about 2 years, then let's get rid of the servers. So man, 2K don't know that what they doing, man. They missing out, bruh. They could literally they could make so much money off the older 2Ks if they just did a subscription service. I'm telling you.
Me to my next thing. 2K14 was the introduction of Park and the continuation of VC. A lot of what you see today, at least the online portion of 2K, it's mainly due to 2K14 and 13, because 2K13 introduced virtual currency and 2K14 introduced Park. And the way online is styled today in like modern 2Ks, it's based off of the back of 2K14. Big ass city aside, when you look at the affiliations, the basketball course that they have is structured after the Park. And 2K14 is the one that created the idea. At the time of 2K14, online was nowhere near what it was like today. I'm not gonna speak too much on online before like 2K13 and shit, because I wasn't too familiar with it. It was basically like online play now. You pick a team, I pick a team, we go head to head with both teams. Or you can do online blacktop, where you and two of your friends go up against another set of 3 players. As I said, I'm not the best person to talk to about multiplayer before 2013. I'd suggest looking up videos of what it was like before Park came out. Nonetheless, when 2K14 released, they had that, but they also had the introduction of Park, where 7 basketball courts were lumped together in one big ass park for you and a fuck ton of other players to play at. You had 2 courts for 2v2s, and you had 5 courts for 3v3s. You were free to roam around the park.
Man, the only thing I think niggas love about the 2K14 Park was the fact that they had proximity chat. So you can literally walk up to somebody and you can start talking to them as soon as you get close enough to them. That was the only thing it was cool. It's cool for like YouTubers and shit like that, the trolls. It's not cool when you just like, you in the park and you just chilling, bro. And some motherfucker come up to you, talk about some, hey, saw your game, buddy. What's up with those stats, huh? Went 0 for 3, huh? Went 0 for 3. Like, bro, chill out. I used to hate that shit. I used to hate motherfuckers just coming up to you, bothering you, annoying the fuck out of you. I used to hate that shit. But I understand why niggas would like it though, because it's good content for YouTube. God forbid if they still had that shit in Park today. Oh God!
As you please, and pick whatever court
Park would be
you
unbearable.
or you and your friends wanted to play at.
Because everybody just be trolling to get views.
Live wasn't doing that shit. I can't think of too many other games that did it before it. Well, NBA Ballers.
I was about to say that, but that's I was about to say watch your mouth. I was about to say watch your mouth. Don't start with me, because I'm about to tell you right now. Everything 2K doing now, they stole from another game. Everything 2K does now, they stole from another game. You think the neighborhood in my park was the first? 2K's the first to do it? No, NBA Ballers did it first. NBA Ballers did it first. NBA Ballers did this shit first. They had the whole immersion thing first. They was the first video game I played where there was a story mode for your created character. Then they took it even further with building a whole world that your player could walk around and do stuff and collect diamonds and collectibles and stuff to upgrade your player with. Bro, NBA Ballers was the first of their kind. Midway was on some other shit when they put this shit out. Shout out to Midway though, even though that company no longer exists, but still shout out to Midway though. They always been one of them ones, bro, but it's sad that they went under, but man, I missed them days, dog. Shout out to Midway. They was the first ones to take the basketball games to another level. So I don't care what anybody says. They were the first to do it by far. NBA 2K just some copycats. And then not to mention the Sony PlayStation games. NBA The Life. Remember those games? Yeah, they had their own story mode too. Come on, Chief. Don't play with me. 2K was not the first to do it. They just copied what everybody else did.
Whole nother thing. Now, depending on how you feel about current 2Ks, I don't know how you'd feel about the introduction of Park in 2K14. I know a lot of people look back at it fondly with like nostalgia and love, but once Park was introduced, the game started steering more and more from balance between the online and offline aspects of the game, and more so the online. Like, for example, when you hear somebody talk about 2K nowadays, they're never talking about the game as a whole. They're talking about the online portion itself only. But when you hear someone like look back at 2K11, you hear them talk about everything. Blacktop, Jordan challenges, dunk contests, left stick dribbling.
It was the immersion that 2K11 gave you. Like, from the moment you start the game up, you're instantly thrown into the game. They don't even make you wait. They throw you in by force. Like as soon as you start the game up, you're playing game one of the NBA finals of Michael Jordan versus Magic Johnson in the NBA finals, bro. They throw you right into that shit. The immersion of 2K11 is unmatched. How they when you start this game up, you are instantly immersed into just greatness, bro. Like I can't deny it, bro. I told y'all before, I used to skip going to school some days just to play 2K, bro. I was like, I don't even feel like going to school today. Fuck school. I would literally stay at home to play 2K, bro. Cause I left after my mama left. And I got home before my mama got home. So my mama wouldn't even know if I went to school or not. I think I skipped like 1 or 2 days out the week every week, bro. I was out here wilding, bro. Oh my God. I'll never forget that. Nah, I was smart, Julio. I was smart. I would only miss 1 or 2 days out the week. I would only miss 1 or 2 days out the week. I ain't miss like whole weeks and shit. I missed like 1 or 2 days out the week. Yeah, I was smart about it. Yeah. I was smart about it till one day she came home early from work and then I got caught. I thought I was slick, bro. She caught my ass that one day, bro. She came home early from work. That shit fucked me up.
The gameplay itself. No one ever really talks about the online portions of the games before 2K14. And that's because
the online servers on here was trash, bro. You would be lucky to get into a fucking online game on here. Playing crew mode on 2K11, that shit was terrible, bro.
Online didn't really matter until 14 introduced Park. People were less focused on 2K as a game and more so upgrading their player, so when they run into some random at the park or neighborhood, they have someone to flex their skills and stats on. My career before 2K14 was a relatively personal thing. The only competition you really had was the AI. Why? Because My Career wasn't an online thing. There was no one for you to stunt on. No mascots, no go-karts, no fucking battle pass tier badges. The only audience was you and the computer. When 2K14 introduced Park, they introduced a new section of audience, a server full of other players. After that, people started taking online a lot more seriously. They started treating the online portion as the main part of the game. Now, is that all the fault of 2K14's Park? Not really, because at the end of the day, it's just a video game. I don't understand why people take it as seriously as they do, but nonetheless, they do. And the people behind the creation of 2K who were paying attention to that started paying more and more attention to the online aspect and less of the offline. I mean, shit, that's why Blacktoppers look the same for the past 7 years. Now, it wasn't my intention to treat Park as the reason why people treat 2K's online the way they do today. Because in my eyes,
you wouldn't know it's crazy. I played Park with all these niggas from D-Man. I played against Shakedown. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. That nigga actually nice with it. I've played with iStyles plenty of times in the rec center on like 2K16. I used to play in the rec a lot on 2K16. Me and him will always like link up randomly all the time, bro. He was a good ass point guard though. I ain't gonna hold you. iStyles was always a good ass point guard.
2K14 introducing Park was a brilliant idea. It was something new, something fresh. Then it was fun. I just think that there could be an argument that with the introduction of Park, people started taking the game a little too seriously. Let me know how you feel about 2K14's introduction of Park. Now, one last thing I want to say about 2K14's My Career before I dip is the VC system. Due to the My Career still being an offline thing at the time, the VC is still there. You can't buy it in the PlayStation Store. Hell, you can't buy 2K14 in the PlayStation Store, period. You gotta buy it physically. But if you play the My Career, you are rewarded VC after the games. You can upgrade certain attributes for your players by 1s or 2s or 3s or 10s.
I ain't gonna lie, this was the best attribute system that they had, bro. The best attribute system they had was right here. I like the fact that you could only have like 5,000 VC and you would already be at like a 70. All you didn't need that much to get up to a 99 overall. You only needed about I think they said it was like 70,000 VC. Like 70,000 VC, you can max out your player right then and there.
And there's different brackets of points that you can use to upgrade it depending on how much VC you have. Then it's relatively easy to obtain. It's weird, like a 64 or 63 overall starting out in 2K14 is a lot easier to play as a 60 overall in 2K24. Like a 60 overall player in 2K24 is basically impossible to play as. You would have to buy some VC in order to level them up to even it out. But in 2K14, it wasn't like that. You can play as an overall 60 or an overall 64 and you'll do just fine. It doesn't take that long to level up your character in comparison to now, but you still have to fucking work for it. It's not a cakewalk. The game just doesn't make you suffer for it. So if you want, you can buy a copy of 2K14 right now, play the My Career, start off as a low overall and still be fine. I'd recommend.
Nigga, just do the fucking glitch, bro. Just do the fucking glitch, bro. I already showed y'all niggas how to do the glitch on 2K14, bro. Just do the glitch, bro. Get yourself up to a 99 right then and there and just play the game from there.
2K14's My Career. Granted, that's not saying much because I'm pretty sure everybody would recommend it, but still, you should play it. Now, 2K14
Something you can't play, really.
Is so fucking solid. Like, it's so responsive and fast-paced. And I think a lot of it is because where it's placed. 2K14 took a lot of aspects from 2K13's gameplay, because 13's gameplay was also very fast-paced and responsive, but it also introduced right stick dribbling. Like before 13, you had to dribble with the left stick, which is also the same stick that you use to move your character. And they made it work, but 13 did a lot better job.
You could go into the controls and change the controls. And I was playing 2K10. If y'all was wondering how I was getting all them dribble moves off in 2K10, I literally just changed the controls around to make the dribble button the right stick instead of the left stick.
By introducing right stick dribbling.
You can do that in the older 2Ks.
2K14 has a lot of aspects from older 2Ks. Right stick dribbling being one of them, but also the hot zone indicator. Now, 2K15 introduced the shot meter, and after that, you can either use the game's shot meter to help you make a shot, or you can just practice your shot and turn it off. But the older 2Ks, 2K14 included, had the hot zone indicator, which was a meter below your character where if they're in a cold zone, the meter goes down. If they're in a hot zone, it goes up. And I call it the hot zone indicator, but it's not just for zone selection. It's also for other players. Like, even if you're in a hot zone, if you're being contested by an opponent, you're not going to make that shot. The meter's going to go down. You making a good shot is depending on how open you are and if you're in your hot zone. And that meter is the thing that indicates that. Once you load up the shot, the meter below you blinks, basically indicating, hey, this is the time for you to release the ball. So much fucking better than a shot meter, in my opinion. And 2K14 was the last game to have it. Which is why I say I like where it's placed in the series, because it's kind of like the last game to release that had all the qualities of the older generation 2Ks. Because if you play anything in between like 9 to 13 next to 2K14, or more so like compare it to 2K14's gameplay, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's an old generation 2K put on a new generation console. It just looks phenomenally better graphically. And obviously gameplay wise, because at the time, 2K14 and 13 were the only games to have the right stick dribbling maneuvers. And in my opinion, that's not a bad thing, because the PS3 era of 2Ks weren't that bad. I think a lot of people would argue that the 2K era of the PS3 was a lot better than the 2K era for PS4 and 5. I mean, shit, those are the main ones people gush over, with the exception obviously of 2K16 and 15. But 2K14 was like the bridge for that gap. It was the last one to have the qualities of the older games, while also holding up as a new generation introduction. And I think that makes it special. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I said how I feel like 2K14 is probably one of the most responsive 2Ks I've played. I've said this in my 2K24 video. I am not no fucking dribble demigod or whatever the hell you people call yourselves. I said this before, dribbling is not my forte, but out of all the 2Ks I've played, I think 14's dribbling is probably up there as one of the best. 14 was so responsive, man, and it pisses me off. This is why, right? I'm gonna explain why. I play all the 2K games on my PS5 because it plays both PS5 and PS4 games. So if you get a PS4 game, it will load into the PS5. You just use your PS5 controller as a replacement, right? And I first noticed this when I first started playing 2K24. I kept feeling like the inputs I put into the game wasn't reacting when I was pressing the buttons. Whether it was me going to shoot the ball, or me attempting to dribble, or hell, even me attempting to move from left to right. That was one of the main reasons why I didn't like 2K24. I had never felt like I was in full control of my body. Mind you, playing on the PS5. I hop on 2K14 and attempt to do the same shit that I tried to do in the last one, and it works perfectly fine. Same controller, same console. Obviously the games are like fucking 10 years apart, so obviously there's gonna be differences. I'm not saying I didn't expect differences, but 2K14 made me feel more in control with my player. When I move right, he moves right. When I move left, he moves left. When I stop, he fucking stops. The dribbling, in my opinion, was a lot easier to do in 2K14. And all the other 2Ks before that. I don't know, after 2K15 dropped, the inputs were fine, but I feel like the game started to slow down. Like 2K15 is when I first noticed the shift.
This is what happened. This was the last 2K where they used the PlayStation 3 animations. So any animations that was on the PlayStation 3 around this time, those are what they use. 2K15 and onward, they reworked the engine, if that makes sense. They reworked the engine so the players, their feet were planning more, the movement became more realistic. So that's how the game became super unresponsive. Like when you started doing stuff, because your player's basically stuck in an animation that he can't get out of. Because the movement became too realistic, the dribbling became too realistic. Yeah, it is what it is. This was when, this was the last time that they did like the PlayStation 3 animations. After this, 2K15 onward, it's been your players starting to become more unresponsive. You do shit. Sometimes he might do some dumb shit or make a movement and make you look like, why the fuck did you make that movement? That's not what I wanted you to do. Yeah. That would explain the unresponsiveness.
And as y'all know, I stopped playing after 20, came back in 2024, and it's like, I don't feel in control of shit. And as I said, I'm playing on the same controller. What the actual fuck? Looking back at it, I think my experience with 2K24 is the reason why I went back and played the older 2Ks. Because I feel like I had to start back from square one and actually compare this shit to the other 2Ks, which brings me to 2K14. Come to find out, I wasn't tripping. From what I compared, 2K14 was way more fucking responsive, man. The gameplay was so good. As I said, in my opinion, the dribbling seemed a lot more simple to do. And if you dribble for too long or into a defender, you paid for it. It took up a fuck ton of stamina, so you can't just stand there dribbling for 10 fucking seconds. And if you dribbled into a defender, you would lose the ball, which, as you should. You lose the ball and all your momentum. Everything made sense. Now, obviously, I do still have complaints on the gameplay. I think one big complaint I've had, and this isn't just for 2K14, it's for all 2Ks in general, or the ones I've played. The difficulty is less on how good the opponent is, like the computer, and more so dumbing down your teammates to where you're the only competent one on the team. Like, have y'all noticed that? Like, if you set the difficulty to a high level, it's like difficulty for the computer is letting the computer get away with murder while lowering the capabilities of your teammates. It's really weird. I'm not gonna dwell on it too much because it's not that big of a deal to me. It's just something I've noticed. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the presentation. The presentation to this game, dude, it's like it's simple but not at the same time. Like, the game opens up with an intro, 17 years into the making, black and white filter. You've seen it, all right? You know what it is. It hypes you up to play the game, and then you get to the game and it's like everything feels so futuristic and classy, like basketball heaven. Everything is bright lights, you know.
I don't know about that one, bro. This shit is bare bones as fuck. Like, let's be for real. This shit was bare bones, bro. Compared to this menu is bare bones, bro. This menu is trash. 2K14 menu, bro. Hell no, bro. This shit right here. Try. This shit is bare bones as fuck. And it's super complicated. It's super complicated to get out of at times.
Bright white, bright light blue. Everything is neatly organized within sections. And it's funny because the first menu that you're introduced to, it's like 4 options. You have options, my career, settings, you know, play now, my GM. You know, these are the options. You're thinking, wow, this is kind of fucking bland. It looks pretty, but eh. And then you click one of the options and it's like, oh shit. The menu is styled beautifully. The roster and the transition from picking one of the teams into playing the game was just as good. It's like this futuristic basketball shot out of a cannon, and you're going through this vortex while being fed 2K tips and regulations. Then it transitions into the game, and it has highlights of both players practicing.
Now the gameplay presentation is amazing in this. That I will say. The lighting in the arenas and the reflection on the floors, the way how the players look in the lighting, bro, everything about this game from a graphical standpoint is top tier. And the fact that people have been saying that 2K14 has some of the best graphics out of all the 2K so far, because every 2K since then hasn't been able to top this, and I have to agree. The players look like them. They look like humans. Versus today, they kind of like they look like them, but it's like you could tell it's a video game. This, you like, if you just looking at it from a presentation standpoint, you would think that a game was actually on.
Music playing in the background. You get an introduction of both teams and their logos. Halfway through the game, you get a sprint report highlighting details of the game. I'm telling you, the way this game was packaged, it screams have decorum. And I don't use that word a lot. And you want to know what made the presentation even better? The soundtrack. I've said this on numerous games. The intro to a game helps set the tone for the story completely. Now, in the case of 2K14, that is true, but it's also reliant on the soundtrack. The soundtrack mixed with the presentation sets the tone of this game. Triumph.
2K14 soundtrack is okay. The best 2K soundtrack of all time is 2K13. 2K13 had the best soundtrack. I hate to admit it, but I gotta give Big Lips his props, bro. Big Lips actually did his thing on 2K13.
That's the word I'd use to describe the soundtrack for this game. It has this feeling of we made it, we won. Like, look at the songs that they have for this game. All of the Lights by Rihanna and Kanye. Can't Hold Us by Macklemore. Started From the Bottom. Not Afraid by Eminem. Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. Hate Me Now by Nas. Hate Me Now, that's like the ultimate fuck you, I won song. This soundtrack was full of them. So many heavy hitter artists. Kendrick Lamar, Jadakiss, Jay-Z, Pharrell Williams. At the time, I always felt like NBA 2K13 had the best soundtrack, and I still kind of do. I think it had a lot more songs that I enjoyed at the time, like Mobb Deep, Jay-Z. Rihanna was also on the soundtrack for Meek Mill. Too Short. Like, I really enjoyed 2K13 soundtrack, but I just feel like 2K14, rather than putting songs together that just sounded good, it's like it had an actual message behind it. It had tone.
The fuck is you talking about? The fuck is you talking about, bro?
Hey, dog. I hate to be the one to break it to you.
Very bad news.
Get this shit the fuck out of here and get you the fuck out of here.
Hell no. 2K14 did not have a message. Bruh, LeBron James was the person behind this playlist, bruh. Get the fuck out of here. LeBron James was the reason behind this playlist. LeBron curated this playlist, for those of y'all that don't know. This list was good, but this list was alright, but it wasn't the best, bro. This list try 2K13 soundtrack washes 2K14 with ease, bro. Get out of here with this, bro. Matter of fact,
dog. I hate to be the one to break it to you.
Very bad news.
Get this shit the fuck out of here and get you the fuck out of here.
The soundtrack, the presentation, the gameplay, my career, Blacktop. This game has so many aspects that I see as enjoyable. A lot of aspects that I see as great. If you've never played NBA 2K14, I'd highly suggest buying a physical copy. They still have some lying around. Load it up on your PS5 and enjoy it. Granted, your opinion might be different than mine. You might not enjoy the gameplay as much. You might not like the soundtrack as much. You might see it as outdated and prefer to play the newer ones. That's cool. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. As I said, we're all adults. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I believe 2K14 is arguably
I'm saying though, this shit long as hell.
The series. The same way people talk about 2K16 and 11, I think we should also talk about 2K14. But as I've said previously, I'm not a member of the 2K community. That's for y'all to decide. This is more so like an outsider giving his opinion. Nonetheless, I've really enjoyed making this video, and I guess I'll see y'all on the next one. I don't know what I'm gonna do next.
We don't care. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one, man. This shit, let me just say this right now. This shit was long as hell. This shit was unnecessarily long. Shit was 30 fucking minutes, bro. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, this shit was unnecessarily long. I blame Amir for this because he recommended this. This is all Amir's fault. This was all Amir's fault, so blame Amir. But anyways, so let's just go up to it for this one. Most definitely, man, 2K14, in my personal opinion, is the best 2K that's ever existed. By far, it's not even up for debate. If you play any other 2K, you go back and play 2K11, you're gonna be like, it ain't 2K14. When you go back and play 2K13, 12, you're gonna be like, it's not 2K14. 2K15, we already know. We already know. 2K16 is good, but it ain't 2K14. 2K17.
Try. That shit is fucking trash, dog. Get the fuck off the airwaves.
Hey, you already know, 18 and up.
Try. Hey, dog. I hate to be the one to break it to you.
Very bad news.
Get this shit the fuck out of here and get you the fuck out of here.
Try.
Get that shit the fuck out of here. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. Till then, this is